I can really recommend being a foster carer for Notts County Council. There's always someone walking the journey alongside you, whether that's other foster carers or social workers. It really helps to provide stability and consistency for children who really need it, and that's really rewarding as a foster carer.
Roger and I have been fostering for 35 years. We do deal with challenges, but to say we've been doing it for 35 years to me proves that it's not impossible. We learn an awful lot from these young people, and even now we're still learning.
As a foster family, we care, we want to make a difference, and we get so much fulfilment from fostering. The satisfaction of making a difference is something that money can't buy. Just seeing the smiles on the children's faces and helping them reach their potential is wonderful.
We work as family workers within the fostering service for Nottinghamshire County Council.
I really enjoy my work. I really enjoy meeting lots of different foster carers.
You know, we get to know the families, we get to know the kids, and we care, basically. It's important as it is to them that the kids are getting the support that they need.
A lot of people said to me they would like to be a foster carer, but there's something stopping them. I had that as well. And we decided just to jump in and do it and see what happened. And for us, it's been the best decision we've ever made.
It's been a fantastic decision, it really has, yes.
Once people start to become a foster carer and take that leap to do it, they'll understand how much it gives back, not just to the child, but how much it empowers you as well.
I'm Leon, I'm a care leaver, and I've been in care since I was 8. I've been with the same parents since, and they're amazing. Like, they are my foster parents, but I do class them as my parents, my mum and dad. All a child wants really from a family is to be supported, loved and cared for, and know they're there because they're wanted. From personal experience, I know the difference it's made for my life.
We always say that we foster as a whole family. It's not just us who are the carers, our children are involved in that. And even now, people express concern about the effect on our birth children of foster caring. I think we need to kind of get past that and dispel that myth, because actually the overall effect on our children, I think, is positive. They're learning new skills, they're gaining empathy, they're interacting with children from different backgrounds. For a long time we didn't make use of support care, and we wanted our child to settle into our placement and not feel pushed out, but it's actually been really helpful for us to start to have support care.
We've known Zoe for a number of years, and it's meant that we got to know her foster child. So for her it's been like coming for a sleepover rather than a feeling she's coming to another family. I got into fostering for Notts County Council, and it was something that I've always wanted to do, but working full time and my husband also working full time, we thought it's not really going to be something we can do now. But after looking at the website, we realised there was this wonderful thing called support care that we were able to offer. It might surprise you, but actually I'm under 30, I don't have any children of my own, and that doesn't stop you from being a foster carer.
I think some people don't go into foster care because they think it's going to be really costly to have another child living in their house, but actually the fostering allowance is generous enough to cover all the costs of having a child living with you.
We have a lot of fun on the weekends when we have foster children in. We get to go to parks, ice skating, children's events, trampolining parks like I Jump.
We get access to the Max card, which is a discount card for foster carers and their children to access different local amenities. Also recently we went on holiday and we were able to use the Max card to get free access to some castles and historical places because it's a national initiative.
We chose to go with Notts County Council because of the support care that was offered and the training, and it's always local to Nottinghamshire. My parents are foster carers.
It's live now, Chairman.
Okay, thank you very much. And I would like to welcome you all to this meeting of the Children and Young People's Committee, which is being held remotely, possibly for the last time, I don't know, depending upon how things progress. Members are going to be are joining from their own homes, and as well as myself, Councillor Philip Owen, who is chairman of this committee, the others that we have present that I can see are Councillor Boyd Elliott, Councillor John Handley. I can't see Councillor Errol Henry. Is Errol not present? He's on.
I'm on, Chairman.
Councillor Errol Henry. Sorry, I can't see you, Errol, at all. I don't know why. Councillor Paul Henshaw, Councillor Roger Jackson, Councillor John Peck, Councillor Liz Plant, Councillor Sue Saddington, and Councillor Tracy Taylor. And we also have the following officers present today. Colin Pettigrew is the Corporate Director for Children, Young People and Schools. We also have Service Director, Education, Learning and Skills, Marion Clay. Service Director, Youth, Families and Social Work, Steve Edwards. And Service Director, Commissioning and Resources, Lawrence Jones. So, as I said, the meeting is obviously being held virtually, and this is the 9th meeting that's been held under the new legislation. Well, it's not so new now. And once again, I make the point that if we do lose members from the call temporarily, then officers will seek to assist them in getting reconnected as soon as possible, hopefully without the need to pause the meeting. But if necessary, I will pause the meeting to allow all members to fully participate. So the first thing, the minutes of the previous meeting. Do I have your approval to sign them as a true record? Yes. Everybody in favour? Yep. Thank you very much for that. And the next item on the agenda are apologies for absence. Now, I've received apologies from Councillor Samantha Deakin, who has suddenly been taken ill this morning. I don't know what's happening in the Ashfield area that might have caused this illness, but there we are. I'm simply reporting to you what I have been told. So I'm sure you'll want to accept those apologies, and I'm sure we wish Councillor Deakin a speedy recovery, and I'm sure it will be. I have every confidence that it will be. The next item on the agenda, declarations of interest by members and officers, disclosable pecuniary and private interests, pecuniary and non-pecuniary. Are there any that any member wishes to declare at this point? No? No. Good, that's fine then. Obviously, if something crops up, then please feel free to chip in and let us know. So the first substantive item is item number 4, which is harmful sexual behaviour by children. And you've got the report in front of you, and we have one recommendation on page 11, which I am happy to move.
I'm happy to second that, Chairman.
Thank you, Councillor Saddington. Do we have any comments on that? Councillor Plant.
Yes, thank you, Chair. As the report says, obviously this is one of the issues that was covered by the ICSA report. Yeah. So an annual report is certainly to be welcomed. Well, obviously, without a doubt, this is a really complex and sensitive issue as regards, obviously, the assessment of it, the intervention and the outcomes. The action plan mentions improving the timelines in some cases, and I wondered if there were any targets in place for this. I also wondered if in future annual reports, not that I will be here to receive them, but I will read them with interest, I assure you, if there could be a little bit more information on outcomes, because as I say, it is a really difficult, complex issue. And obviously I would sort of want that to be in sort of general information, obviously not specific, but no, we welcome the report, and I would just look forward to a little bit more information on the outcomes in future ones. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Councillor Plant. Councillor Taylor, do you want to comment?
Yeah, it was similar to Councillor Plant in querying timelines. I'm looking at paragraphs 15 and towards the end of 17, where we make reference to the Brook traffic light tool. I know that we're looking for another tool because of the changes to licensing. I'm just questioning what that might be and when.
Okay, Lawrence, the report is in your name. Do you want to pick up those 2 points? Because I can't see anybody else wanting to comment on outcomes and timelines.
I'll pick up the one on outcomes, and I'll ask Claire Sampson, who's with us, just to pick up the timeline issue, just in terms of how soon we're hoping that some of those actions can be completed. We certainly can include information on outcomes. I think the question, it's a complicated question in this respect about what an outcome is and when it occurs. And that's part of the complexity of reporting on it. And I think, as we say in the report, often when we're looking at outcomes, a sufficient amount of time has gone to look at the outcomes. We've often improved practice, so we look at the outcomes of the previous practice rather than the current practice. So it is a difficult area to report on outcomes. But I'm sure we can find some kind of a framework to at least give some kind of indication. I mean, I think just to try and give a positive message, generally young people, once we've identified they commit sexual harm, the vast majority with intervention don't go on to repeat those behaviours. A small minority are very difficult to tackle and will. So in most cases, once we identify it, we're successful one way or another in being able to curb that behaviour. But yes, we'll have a look into it and think about what we can present that would be useful and accurate to committee in future times. I'll just ask Claire if she can pick up just in terms of the timeline of the issues around the kind of the changes in terms of the panel and particularly the replacement for Brooke as well.
Thank you, Lawrence. Yeah, if I just refer to the changes to the Brook traffic light tool first. We've got a multi-agency group at the moment with partner agencies, which is due to meet in the next couple of weeks. But our plan is that we will have made a decision and have a new tool in place at the latest by the end of July. And then in terms of timeliness in respect of assessments and the work, I think it's something that we want to improve on. I think that the assessments and work that's taking place at the moment is taking place in a timely manner, but I think the audits made us want to kind of improve on that even more so. So again, we've got a multi-agency group that's focusing specifically. We're going to review and look at the panel, look at things that we can put in place that will improve that timeliness, and we want that piece of work also to be completed by the end of July at the very latest, so that then we can look at doing another kind of review and audit piece of work at the beginning of next year to look at how those things have improved timeliness in terms of our interventions.
Thank you very much for that. I hope that you're happy with that, Councillor Plant. I shall have visions of you now sitting in your garret over the years, reading through Children and Young People's Services reports. Feel free to send in any questions you want me to answer, and
I might hold you to that, Councillor.
I'll more than happily arrange for answers to be sent out to you, so you can pass your political retirement profitably. Anyway, with those few comments, can I have a show of hands? All those in favour of accepting the recommendation? That is unanimous. Thank you very much. The next item is item number 5, proposals for change to elective home education delivery model. Again, you've got the report of the service director, and on page 19 there is a recommendation which I will move.
And I will second, Chairman.
Thank you, Councillor Saddington. Councillor Peck, you're indicating.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. We'll be supporting this report and the proposal to appoint additional officers. As the report makes clear, there has been a significant rise over a number of years in the numbers of children receiving elective home education. I think it was predicted that there would be a likely rise during the COVID period, and that's been proved to be correct. But we know that this rise has been taking place over a number of years, and as I say, the report does make that clear, and that's a concern. I don't intend to go through all the arguments which have been well rehearsed on this committee, and I think we have a cross-party view on the inadequacies of the present system with regard to elective home education. And I think we've all expressed the view that this requires national legislation because it is a national problem as well as a Nottinghamshire problem. And when I use the term problem, it is because I think many, if not all of us, feel that there are children that are slipping through the net and not receiving an adequate education under this guise of elective home education. So I think because of the rise in numbers, the additional officers will be required, but I look forward to the day. Like the Councillor Plant, I won't be on this committee and perhaps in my garret reading reports with interest, but I look forward to the day when we see some movement on this very concerning issue, which we've addressed time and time again over a number of years. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you very much for that, Councillor Peck, and I'll give you the same offer that I gave to Councillor Plant to pick up any questions you might want to throw at us.
Well,
I don't think
that for the work programme as well.
Oh, indeed, I'm always happy to look at that. I think a possible way forward for the new administration would be to try and, well, not to try, but to actually raise this issue more vigorously at the East Midlands councils through the lead members meetings and try and get all lead members and their authorities on board with this, with a possible lobbying to the relevant minister. I did last time, as I promised, actually say to them we needed as a group, or they needed as a group, to look at the issue of Section 106 contributions. And that resonated certainly amongst the two-tier authorities because of the issues that we know that we've had. But I think this is another issue that perhaps could go through them as well as it being flagged up by us. Anyway, with those comments, the recommendation has been moved and seconded. Can I have a show of hands in favour? Sorry.
I did put my hand up.
I'm sorry I missed it, Councillor Plant.
No, that's fine. It's just a question, actually, and I can't remember whether I'm remembering this correctly. Was there something that came out in terms of a consultation on registration for elective home education? And I was just wondering if we ever had any response from, because what still concerns me are those children that never actually get into the school system. Yeah. You know, parents decide, you know, at the age of 4 or 5 or whatever, they're not going to start school and they stay at home, and we actually never even know about those children.
Yeah, you're quite right. I know that it was something that we commented on as part of the consultation, but I'm not sure that we've had much in the way of feedback yet. Can I ask Marion Clay, Service Director, if she'd like to come in on that?
That's correct. We did submit in Councillor Owen's name the consultation which supported the proposal for registration at the council, but there's been, you know, that I have no feedback. There is no indication as to what will happen next, but I do think it is still a very live issue nationally.
Thank you for that. I'm sure it's got to be, but of course it would have been inappropriate under the current circumstances for government to have been talking about elective home education and the problems of elective home education when all children were being electively home educated at that time. So it is something that needs to be picked up going forward. Anyway, I don't think I've missed anybody else. So can we have a show of hands? All those in favour of the recommendation? Thank you. That is unanimous. Well, if Councillor Elliott is voting in favour, he's disappeared. I don't know whether he's gone out delivering leaflets in Calverton or not. Are you there, Councillor Elliott? Are you there? Thank you. Yes, in favour. That's carried unanimously then. Okay. That's item number 5. Item number 6, the establishment of 2 additional posts within the education partnership teams. Again, you've got the report in front of you, and there is a recommendation on page 23, which I will move.
And I will second, Chairman.
Thank you, Councillor Saddington. Any comments or questions? Councillor Plant.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Chair. No, fully, yes, definitely welcome this report, and obviously the fact that it's focusing on those children with education and healthcare plans, which is definitely needed. My question really is, in terms of the posts, grade 5 posts, school a school practitioner. Just out of interest, what sort of training do we look to for taking up that post? Because it's obviously not a teacher background, or am I wrong there? Well, looking at the salaries, I don't think I am. I just wanted a little bit of information on, because obviously they're going to be monitoring the work of the children and the progress and their safeguarding issues. Thank you.
Can I ask Marion Clay to pick that one up, please?
Yeah. To be honest, this builds on a model that we have in other areas. And so these will be practitioners with some experience, say, of family work or support work with young people, but they are overseen by more senior colleagues within the partnership team. And this is one of the reasons why we're going to place these posts within education, Karen Human's world, because Angela Child, for example, the team managers in these teams are qualified teachers, for example, and have a lot of experience of monitoring education. But this will build on quite an established way of working within the council in the virtual school, in other areas of partnership team, and they will access training. There's likely to be interest from support workers and from others who are already working with families and families and schools, but that's the reason why it's sitting there. It could be a teaching assistant, for example. But it's sitting and is overseen by those with actual, as you and I would, school or senior head teacher experience.
Thank you for that. Right, the recommendation has been moved and seconded. All those in favour? That again is carried unanimously. And so we come to the last item on the agenda, which is the work programme, and I'm happy to move the recommendation that we accept the work programme. And you will note, Councillor Plant, that on the 21st of June, Child Poverty Data and Action Plan update will be there. So I'm sure, again, you'll be sitting in your garret reading that intently, and I shall be grateful for any comments that you might wish to make on it in writing, or you could even come along as a guest to the committee.
Oh, I shall look forward to that. Thank you very much, Councillor. You've been charming to me on my last meeting.
Of course, I'm always charming. I'm just misunderstood.
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much.
I will second the work programme.
Thank you very much. Are there any other comments on the work programme? Are we happy to accept that? Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. Well, it is our last meeting, and I do want to sincerely thank all of you for the contributions you've made over these past 4 years. And I do want to pay particular tribute to the work of Councillor Peck and Councillor Plant, who are voluntarily leaving us. Well, I think, I won't go into that with you, Councillor Plant, but from an election point of view and the electorate perspective, you are leaving us voluntarily. And I do admire you for actually taking that decision. Some of us don't know when to let go, and the electorate tell us, and we have to go. So I do thank you. It is important that any controlling group has effective challenge, and you have both provided that, and I thank you for doing that, and I do wish you well in your semi-retirement, at least from politics, if not from anything else. The rest of you, I wish you well. I hope to see some of you on the 21st of June, not necessarily all of you, but some of you on the 21st of June. And thank you very much for your contributions. Councillor Peck.
Thank you, Councillor Rowe, for those kind words, and I wish to respond by echoing them. I think we've both been in the hot seat for 4 years each over the last 8 years that I've been on the council, and I think respectively we've always tried to do the best for the children of Nottinghamshire, and when we've been in opposition, as you've said, we've tried to form a constructive opposition, supporting policy where appropriate and opposing it where we feel that there are differences, but that's always been done for the most part in a good-natured way, and I think for the most part in a respectful way. So I'd like to thank you for your kind words that you've just said. I look forward personally to retirement. I shall miss all of you, and I shall certainly keep my eyes open for what's happening at County Hall. So good luck to all of you, and all the very best, and do keep in good health and keep safe.
Thank you very much. Okay, well, that's it.
Could I just briefly say a few words, Councillor Owen? I won't repeat what John said, but I certainly support it. And just to say that I too am standing down voluntarily, but it will be, I shall miss the committee a great deal. And I think we have all worked together very well, most of the time, well, all of the time, for the children and young people of Nottinghamshire. And I'm sure that will carry on whoever takes over next time. I do wish everybody luck. Obviously, a little bit more luck for the Labour ones, but I do going forward. And I will
They'll need it more, Councillor Plant.
Well, and I definitely, as I say,
Councillor Owen.
will be having an oversight from afar, but I wish everybody luck. And I have learned a great deal on this committee, and I have, by and large, enjoyed most of my time on it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and I have already thanked the officers privately for the support that they have given me.
Yes, likewise.
Personally. Yes. And I'm sure, they have done you as well. My request. Thank you very much. Well, I don't think there's anything more to be said. And as I say, I'll see some of you on the 21st of June, and perhaps in person rather than over the internet, but who knows? Time will tell. Can I wish you all goodbye and keep safe. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Good luck.
See you all. Good luck.
You'll be as pleased as I am that as we move through March, the days are getting longer and we're starting to see a bit of spring coming through and some warmer days. And with that, it's fantastic, isn't it, to be able to get outside a little bit more and to enjoy the open air. But it's really important that as we do that, that we also keep in mind all of the measures that are in place in this very first step of the roadmap. It allows for us to meet up with one other person for recreational activities outdoors. But it's really important that even as we do that, we keep in mind all of the social distancing measures, which are so important. The reason they're important is that there is no shortcut we can take to the end of the roadmap. There is still quite a long way to travel, and during that time we need to make sure that the rates in Nottinghamshire come down further. You can play your part in that by sticking to the rules at each step of the roadmap.